everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. This is Total Football Talk. We're looking at all the latest news and transfer news coming out of Manchester United. And boy, are we on a high after last night. That was amazing. We did what we had to do. We've come away with a 3-0 victory. I'm absolutely over the moon. But let's look at the headlines first, and then with a little bit of stuff about the match after. And the headlines are, so apparently there's big news breaking. It was just before the game went out last night that Jim Ratcliffe is potentially going to do something with Nice. There's news about sort of Cunha. There's some news on Delap, a new signing that's in the recruitment department or maybe the data analysis department as opposed to on the on-field. A little bit on how old Antony's doing for Real Betis, which is news flying around everywhere. A little bit sort of. Okay, let's look at Sir Jim's recent sort of ventures. So Sir Jim's been involved with Formula One, racing, rugby, but apparently he's kind of diminishing his roles or else trying to kind of move on from those other sporting sort of ventures, and also now that he's looking to sell OGC Nice with the potential offer coming in from Saudi Arabia, and this is all with the intention of with Sir Jim buying Manchester United outright. I'd love to get in the comments. Would you guys love to know? Would you love Sir Jim Ratcliffe to buy Manchester United outright so we got rid of the Glazers, or do you think he's bad as the Glazers and him owning the football club would be? How do you feel about that? Do you think it would be any better? Do you think it'd be any worse? Where do I stand on it? I probably prefer the Glazers out. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his team have done some good things. I can see some positives. They've done a lot of wrong. They've made a lot of mistakes already. Stuff on the pitch like Ten Hag keeping him when they maybe should have got rid of him. Not in my eyes, but it's maybe what they should have done, but they didn't make that decision. Then there's obviously all the redundancies, etc. Scouts on and reducing the scouting department and all this kind of stuff. They've come in and they've been brutal. And we can't see any of the kind of fruits from done so far come in a couple of years' time. But do you think Sir Jim what you can do? I don't think selling Nice is going to earn him enough money to, even if Saudi Arabia do come in, I think they'll give them probably a competitive sort of offer for Nice, but I don't think it's going to be remotely enough to buy Manchester United. I think Sir Jim's he's got liquid assets, and I believe that's where all tied up. So maybe worth 15 billion, but I don't think he has that in cash. So selling Nice is an interesting one. I just don't know if it's actually going to be a goer. In terms, I don't think the Glazers are ever going to want to sell. They probably want 6 billion. So Jim's already put in 1.4 billion or something like that, around about those figures. I don't know where this is going. Just keep an eye on it. I personally don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he'll have the money to do it. But I'd rather have Sir Jim, and I think than the Glazers at this stage. But as I said, Sir Jim's made a lot of mistakes, and I am far from, if there was another party involved, that would be great. But, if we're a case of two evils, maybe Sir Jim might be marginally better than the Glazers. But we'll see in time to come. Okay, so this is what was being said about Cunha. And maybe this gives us a little help in terms of trying to get the deal now, but obviously it hasn't been. But agent argument and Giuliano Bertucci are both in the negotiations to take Cunha from Wolves to Manchester United. The transfer must be endorsed by Mendes. Now, obviously, we have a really good relationship with Mendes. He was Ronaldo's agent when he and he's been involved in other deals, that transfers between Manchester United and Mendes as well. I know he was involved in the Euro deal, and obviously he is now involved in the Cunha deal. I believe if he is involved in the Cunha deal, then there's a good chance that maybe that'll help get us across the line, because we have good relationships with him. And so I think that was a bit of good news. But in terms of the whole Cunha thing, I said it before, I believe that this should have been wrapped up by now, because they said closer than blah, blah, blah. Let's just get this deal across the line. Let's bring in more good news to the club when we've actually got good news, especially after the result last night. Okay, so this is the other bit of news that was breaking. Michael Cincino will start at Man United this week, heading up the club's data department. Cincino has arrived at the club after leaving his position as senior performance situation here to the Mercedes Formula One. This is the one that's going to be interesting because I'm obviously not excited about it. It's news. It's about the data department, which it's been non-existent, and apparently we've just been using the eyes of Scotland. Jason Wilcox. Don't know where Scotland came from. Jason Wilcox. His eyes, but if this fella can come in, Michael Sansino, if he can he can come in and help our data analysis department. Crossover working. Yeah, it's a bit of news. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to dwell on it. Let's move along to the next bit. So this is a bit of news that was coming out. Delap, Manchester United target Liam Delap is expected to ask for 120 and 150 grand for the suitors. Now, do you think for a 20-year-old who scored 12 goals in the Premier League, do you think this is a fair wage for someone who's going to be the Manchester United number? Potentially Ahmad's on around 120 grand a week. If it is on the lower 20 grand a week and Delap did come in and you are number 9, and if you're starting for Manchester United, maybe I'd like it to be a list, but ballpark here is around 120 grand. I think that would be fair enough. Get your comments below. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a fair shout or a fair amount of money, or do you think he's asking for far too much and he's still got a lot more to prove to us fans? Okay, that's the news, and this was brilliant. So Betis legend Joaquim on signing Antony. I will provide the car if he has to be kidnapped, but let him stay no matter what. And the reason why he's coming out and saying, we believe being news from Atletico Madrid are really interested in Antony, and they've held a long-term interest in him for a while now. And Antony is ripping it up last night, scoring again with his right foot this time. People saying he's 1 foot. He must have had a fluky one last night, but I can goal against the United goal. Brilliant goal. He is on fire. He's ripping it up. He's driving Betis into the Champions League spots. He's driving Betis towards the Europa League. He's GA in half a season, nearly than he hasn't for United. So he's absolutely on fire. I'm delighted for him. I hope he keeps on doing it. Gives us the opportunity to sell him on, potentially make some money from it. Maybe there is a negotiation tactic where Betis and Atletico Madrid can haggle for him. Betis make the Champions League, then they're in a great position because they'll have some money. But yeah, there's a lot of good things happening at Manchester United. Even outside Manchester United, things are good. And I'm talking about Europa League. Our league form's terrible. Let's not get carried away, Keith. Okay, so this is what I was talking about last night after the game. Amran, best performance, best result, because nobody expected it. We saw 2 games today. The 25-minute and then the goal and the red card changed. So in the second half, we tried to be more careful. We had chances, but the most important thing was that they had nothing. Brilliant result. Red card did send it off, did change it, and we scored the penalty. Bruno under pressure. I'll take a look at what Bruno said. Unbelievable. Very composed and just tucks that penalty away. Absolutely. Because I think Ruben is talking about United did a professional job, which we haven't always done. This, especially in the seasons. My God, do we like to ball things up and make things very difficult for ourselves? But we didn't. We kept a clean sheet. We got the 3 goals. I was greedy. I was looking for a 4th, probably like many of you guys. But the goal, happy days. And yeah, we are in a strong position. We're not there yet. I'm not getting away. I'm not going to be singing from the rafters. But I did tonight again. And it was a cracking result. Away from home, Bilbao don't concede many goals. And yeah, we've been good in the Europa League this season. So, and we managed to just by hold on to that. First 25 minutes we were a bit shaky. Ugarte couldn't hold the ball, losing the ball. I think that little bit of experience in Europe did come through. But our three main leaders, Bruno, Maguire, Yamal, who was amazing on the wing, and Cassie centre midfield, absolutely outstanding. Casemiro goes to Spain, home from home. Guy just it's just stroke, loved it, amazing. Bruno kept it simple, did all the right things, scored the penalty, brilliant ice cold finish for the goal as well. After a goal through from Ugarte, who got better as the game went along. And yeah, obviously, I said, Harry Yamal on the wing, unbelievable. Didn't beat his full back once, decided, and then beat him again, whip in the corner. and boy, oh boy, we do the business. Happy days. Okay, so let's look at what Bruno Fernandes had to say about the penalty. And this is, so Bruno on the penalty. I was just worried to listen to the whistle and take my time, like I was in the referee was listening, and really, so I was trying to calm myself down, getting a little bit away from the Athletics, because all they were doing was shouting some stuff and just trying. Obviously, it's a big deal of pressure every time I step up, but I want that kind of pressure. The play for this club in the moment is amazing. More and more about this. So, fantastic penalty. The crowd was going mental. Bruno was, I mean, it was coming through on the tee. Can't imagine what it was like in that stadium. And Bruno did the business, and ice cold as anything. Found the bottom corner, gave us what we needed, and we were absolutely fantastic last night, and I'm over the moon. Okay, guys, so that's your 10-minute roundup. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're enjoying the content, please hit the old subscribe button right hand corner of the screen. Please give me a thumbs up if you could. That would be absolutely. We get 10 on this video for 10 after a great win. Taking the game back to Old Trafford. That legend. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow.